and place your calling. WUB, get up, make every day count up. Wasted people, do your part, play around, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling is the show? No matter even if you're at home. Just calling. WUB, wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, we gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Belize, everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, voice our opinion and place your calling. WUB, be yourself, this is a show, my people. Believe our hopes are to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, this the vibe we're dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WUB. And all the things that will feel happen and I got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize, another day is here. Wake up, Belize, we gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Belize, everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, voice our opinion and place your calling. WUB. Wake up, Belize, another day is here. Wake up, Belize, we gotta keep moving, na. Wake up, Belize, everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize, voice our opinion and place your calling. WUB.
Good morning, Belize. Welcome to the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's Wednesday morning, the 22nd of April, 2026. I'm Mose, hosting today's edition of Belize's premier morning conversation on Creme Radio and on XTV. Just you're doing great, health's excellent, your energy levels high, your vibrations positive, and your morning has got enough space for us because we there and we want you here. And this is a conversation. Before we do that, make we just welcome everybody listening to Creme Radio, watching XTV, or got us by your apps, which you hope you have available as even a backup plan on your device. Or it is you got our social media streams to the people on simulcast coverage. Great having you as always. You are the originals. Respect. We are going to start with a bit of warm-ups. We've got your morning news, and before we do that, we got to find out what kind of weather we can expect today. Warm, what? Damp? We don't know. We turn to the people who know. National Met Service. We got forecaster Tariq Matthews to tell us all about that.
Good morning, Belize. Our latest radar imagery, satellite and surface observation showed skies were clear to partly cloudy with only isolated showers observed over the extreme southern coast. Elsewhere was mostly dry. Mainly fair weather conditions prevail. The 24-hour forecast, sunny skies with a few cloudy spells today and clear to partly cloudy skies tonight. Showers will be isolated. The maximum temperatures for today will reach 87 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 94 inland, and 83 up in the hills. The low temperatures for tonight will be around 79 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 72 inland, and 64 up in the hills. The winds will be from the east-southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and the sea conditions will be slight. A low tide will occur this morning at 6:52, followed by a high tide this afternoon at 1:14, another low tide tonight at 9:15, and another high tide early tomorrow morning at 3:41. The sun will set this evening at 6:10 and will rise early tomorrow morning at 5:31. The moon will rise this morning at 10:16 and will set just before midnight at 11:58. In the sargassum forecast, the major influx of sargassum is expected to continue across coastal destination during the next few days. In the fire risk forecast, the risk for forest or brush fires will be high to moderate over the country. The outlook for Thursday and Thursday night is for fair, warm, and mostly dry conditions. Showers, if any, will be isolated. For a review of our forecast and other products, please visit our website at nms.gov.bz. Our next forecast comes out at 12 p.m. this afternoon. With that, we end this morning's forecast from the Belize National Met Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
And now morning news. The BBA will continue operations following Cabinet has approved a tiered approach to bus fares for the National Highway Public Transport sector to ensure consistent, reliable and affordable bus services. The regular service will be calculated at 18 cents per mile and the express service at 20 cents per mile. The fares will be rounded to the nearest 25 cents. A new category of premium services being introduced and will be calculated at 22 cents per mile for commuters who choose an upgraded travel option. It would apply to buses no older than 7 years, must have air conditioning, spacious bucket seats, free Wi-Fi, and operate non-stop between municipalities. The fares will become effective on Friday, April 24th. Belize Bus Association President Philip Jones says they will continue operations in good faith and will meet on Sunday with their membership to discuss the update. In the past week, there have been reports of the National Bus Company facing a series of operational setbacks, including buses not running on schedule, mechanical breakdowns, difficulties keeping up with maintenance, and a workers' strike at a maintenance facility previously operated by Westland, now absorbed into the NBC. Yesterday, Transport CEO Chester Williams said the NBC is facing teething issues but remains viable as a company.
The NBC is a viable company, I can say to you. It is up and running. Like with every other bus company or any other vehicle, they do experience mechanical problems at times. Even a brand new vehicle from the garage, from the dealership, you drive down the road, it broke down, it happens. But I can say to you that the minister has been working diligently and Minister Zabani is on the ground. And he approached this situation with a great degree of enthusiasm. Want to make sure it succeeds as the CEO. I am there to support my minister. I believe it's the right thing to do. For the people of Belize, they do need a viable bus company. Yes, it is not where we want it to be, but with time it is getting there and the minister is working diligently to get the National Bus Company where he wants it to be.
Did you all get ahead of yourselves, rush things, not ensure that certain aspects were in place, particularly the mechanical repair aspect and maintenance?
I don't know where this notion came from with NBC not having mechanics, because for the most part, the operators, when they're operating individually, they had mechanics. Those mechanics that were with them came on board to NBC, and so they operate under NBC as mechanics. So NBC do have mechanics, and whenever these issues arise with bus, the mechanics are there to remedy the issue and get the buses back on the road. It is not like the breaking down is out of control. It is not a case like that. The company is doing its best to make sure that it remains viable and make sure, importantly, that it gets the Belizean commuters on point A to point B.
But then how many breakdowns have there been?
I'm not sure how many breakdowns there have been, but like I said before, that once you drive a vehicle, there's always a potential that there's going to be some issue arising with the vehicle. The question is, how do we address them? I think that the National Bus Company has been responsive whenever they have issues with buses, in making sure that they address the issues as quickly as possible.
Belizeans and social media have rallied against the removal by news outlets of a surveillance video of a police officer seen physically assaulting both his stepson and his common-law wife. They have also called for him to be prosecuted, notwithstanding that the woman withdrew the charges. It appears the 8-year-old boy had picked up a baseball bat as the officer was assaulting his mother, prompting Philip Gorbert to punch the child to the head. As a result, the minor hits his head on a table. Gorbert still proceeds to slap him while his wife tries to intervene. After the child runs away, Garbett punches the woman multiple times. Authorities have confirmed that he will face disciplinary charges. Karim Michael, the governor of the central bank, yesterday clarified that the bank did not approve the changes regarding savings account implemented by Belize Bank and Atlantic Bank. Both banks automatically changed excessively active saving accounts into checking accounts, making them ineligible to receive interest payments. Both banks are now charging monthly service fees of $1.50 and up to $2 in the case of Belize Bank. Michael said these fees overburden customers already dealing with an increasing cost of living. Michael explained that pending legislation would allow consumers to report any perceived injustice in the banking sector. And that brings us to the end of the morning news update. We take a small break, and when we come back, we'll be live, active, open for conversation on Creme Radio and XTV. We'll be right back.
Informative, accurate, current information. Crem's newscast. Local, regional, and international news. Weather and sports.
I didn't know anything about honey or bees. I was really awed when I opened the hive box and I saw there was just not bees. There is wax, there is propolis, there is pollen, there is the entire education of what is going on inside the hive. And I was like, how come nobody in Belize have ever done this before?
The farm produces 75% of what we consume. We were introduced to instant coffee. So we're growing our own food, but we're drinking instant coffee. So I said, it's time to introduce our own coffee as part of our food security.
My brother, he used to work at a butterfly farm, and he was in charge of breeding them. One day, when he was in the butterfly cage, he saw that they die naturally and they still look beautiful. And that is when he got the idea to make the butterfly art collages.
I used to do cakes from home. I started just giving them away, but I needed to buy my stuff back and I started selling them. So that's what started it, and I used Facebook as my means of advertisement and started getting customers.
I've always been fascinated with gemstones. It's been something that I've been collecting for more than a decade. It's just the fascination of how they come out from the earth, just different minerals and elements that combine. They just form these beautiful colors, and it's so fascinating.
Nokche Adventure Park came about from the birth of COVID. Everything was shut down in the tourism industry, and we decided, I want to do something to help the community. We got 10 bikes, 10 ATVs, and we were just doing ATV tours at that time. Shortly after, we were approached by the cruise lines. We agreed to work with them, and from then it just started growing.
The adjacent communities have collaborated together to see how they can get a space here that the wood carvers could actually market and sell their product. My husband is a woodworker. He attended the meeting. He was given a space here, and that's how basically I got involved in the business.
To me, Atlantic Bank was the best partner for us to team up with.
Having access to financing, change our business in productivity.
Once I had Atlantic Bank support with the finances, it was smooth sailing from there.
They saw the vision and they were willing to be patient.
Atlantic Bank's e-commerce system has accelerated the growth for my business.
Now I can make payments and receive payments online, and this has made my job much easier.
I don't have to run to town and use fuel and the other expenses.
They were willing to be patient with us as we grew our business, and that meant the world.
I sit and sip my good cup of coffee and do payments.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde in the house with you on this Wednesday morning, 22nd of April 2026. And we're now active, ready, we're open for business. The phone line is here for you at 280-5848. That is the live line for you to participate in the conversation. We say it every morning, even though we know that by now we don't know it. We love on your car. That's what the show is about. Krem, good morning, WB.
Good morning, Mose. Good morning, baby. Sister Yaya. I had to call you early this morning. How are you feeling this morning, brother?
Up, yeah. Best way to describe
that blue look pretty for your complexion.
And this is actually black, so it means that they want no gun in color settings correct.
Oh, lad, no. Anyways, I need to have this conversation with you. I'm up for hours, work for my tone, that I get my thoughts in order. And I want to take this reasoning, one glow and grow community reasoning. Glow meaning areas where we have collective actions and still measure success, or growth, just like what the word said, where we could still reflect and take different actions. I want to know your 2 cents from the Ministry of Transport response to the Belize Bus Association.
Which one of the responses, what was sent yesterday or the previous responses?
The response from Cabinet.
Oh, the response from Cabinet. I think it is, I know now, bus operator, I've want to lend my confidence in what they feel the details are, because as they say, the devil in the details, they know who knows it, feels it. But I would say that based on how they responded prior to the decision being made by the bus operators to essentially throw down the gauntlet, big improvement in engaging and beginning a process of trying to find what I call a resolution to this problem we have.
I would definitely say as well that we are learning how to hold people in a power and influence accountable in our collective way. And I feel like the Belize Bus Association, a very good example. I'm so proud of them black men, especially because oftentimes the images we see of black men in the media, they're not positive. And I'm so proud of them brothers yesterday. And I remember a moment.
Somebody sent one. A listener, viewer of the show sent a message of admiration for Phil Jones.
Big respect.
Listen, Phil Jones has, even when things are, and I've been in hot spots and tight spots and in big conflict, contentious standoff negotiations. I know what that temperature feels like, and not every time I feel like I handle things how I want handle things, with composure, with keeping a balance, keeping clear-minded, clear communication. Phil Jones is exceptional as a communicator in a very stressful moment. As one leader, I am very careful about how he represents for his membership. I really want to applaud it and say respect. You're always reluctant for do that because you just put added pressure upon people. You feel me? But I just have to say, and it's not just this one moment. He originally, I don't know if he was originally from back in the days, coming out of the whole novella. He's been here. If there are others, but for sure, Phil know the fullness of the public transport story, at least over the last 25 years. And it comes through in the way that he's able to explain, articulate, and again, he tried best to not make it be one personal thing, and always left room for say, well, come make a reason. Always this are not just today, this are not under just this administration, this are under all administration. This are just how his leadership style, his communication style is really impressive. So respect is due.
And I appreciate you giving 2 cents for that, because I feel that there are models that we have one grassroots, credible leader with genuinely speak for the people we work for and we represent. And I want to use that as one starting point for say that I don't know how Phil became the human being that he is to develop the hard and soft skills that he has. And like you, I know always at my best self, especially under pressure. And I can admit that, I never found good behavior and I work on it. At the same time, if we're not willing to have tough conversations publicly or privately, admit with weaknesses and areas where we need to improve, especially when we're in a leadership, then we can't say that we're serious about meaningful change. So here we look at the Labor Department, just one, and we say we're part employees struggle to hold the state accountable. My perspective is that I find the same challenge in the union. Now, I usually depend the outskirts of the union is more because I am solidarity with people, and in particular African descendants, racialized as Black people, working class people, that are where I come from, that are who nurture me, that are who I advocate for at home and abroad. Now, I have been consistently holding the National Trade Union and Congress of Belize accountable for not come out publicly and support former Belize Telemedia Limited workers and now Belize Electricity Limited workers. From the 5th of November 2025, when the Caribbean Court of Justice ruling come out, that body of union of workers has never come out and make a position on it. I think it was in March. Me and you had a reasoning and you shared why it was important that they come out and publicly say, we're in solidarity. Now, I don't know, as you live, you learn more. When you think you became aware more of Maya Angelou have one saying will say, when people show you who they are the first time, believe them. The concept being pretty much when people actually match their words, pay attention because of the character dependence. When you think you get that concept as an adult? It's a learning process.
When I get the
concept that people actions when they match their words, and so you just notice to yourself like, I didn't observe, but I noticed. Like when you think you get that?
I think it starts with self. I think I have developed one awareness that there is a gap between who we say we are and what we say we are as compared to what we do. And you have to, and I feel that are just maybe one deception where we able to could tell with self, no? I think people, and I say collectively at times we speak on things I feel more where would I want to be, how would I want to be, the values that we would I want to be about, but that way actions determine what we are more than any other thing. And so there is an awareness that our challenge we face as each one away to try be consistent and not self-contradict. I think you're speaking now on people who you have to examine and who you have to deal with, and if you find things like if the person is untrustworthy, dishonest, then regardless of what they might be saying or pretend to be, if you experience dishonesty, generally speaking, that's going to be something that will be associated with that individual generally, always. If you are not if you are not an honest person, it takes a lot for that person to become other than that. Not saying it's never been done or not saying it's impossible, but as the person that has to make decisions based on our evaluation of people, you can't really take a chance, because dishonesty can be and just using dishonesty as an example of a undesirable quality of somebody, and there are others obviously, but yeah, I would say you have to, if you experience an unpleasant characteristic in an individual, you have to be then you have to make the adjustments, and you cannot be hoping that it was a one-off situation. That generally is not the case. So you have to guard up, and you have to deal with the real. You can't ignore the warning signs. You can't ignore the red flags.
I really value that you carry it personal, because each one away have one duty to be responsible to ourselves in the things that we say and what we do. Because whatever happened with you as an individual will bleed into all other connections or relationships we'll have.
Yeah.
And I look on the labor department like employees who have one duty for hold the state accountable. And if we know, most of we know come from our environment, we teach we for in a real way, to assess ourselves regularly and make adjustments as we grow and develop, and then hold ourselves and others in our personal space and the professional space accountable to behave the same, and to have boundaries that if people violate, that you, even if in a blood, and especially when in a blood relation, that you're willing to change how you communicate with them or not have no contact with them. So looking at it from that perspective, again, NTCB has never come out and said they're in solidarity with their two independent groups of former BTL and BL workers. Mm-hmm. What they have done is say that they represent union members. So what they not say is we don't represent people who are in a union. So they've been very consistent with that message. They represent union members. Mm-hmm. Hearing, I notice, I hear on. Then, so to me, right away, that never sits well with me, because it's as if they go with the letter of the law as relates to the Constitution as a union, when my understanding is you represent workers. Workers, whose interests you represent. Workers. So when I say on March 1st action, which is Labor Day,
May 1st.
For me, I'm sorry, not March, you're right, May 1st. For me, this is about performance. Because when workers needed you, you consistently did not show up. And then, they then sent out, NTUCB sent out a press release in solidarity with not agreeing that prescriptions should be required for contraceptives. So what NTUCB to show me is, when they choose to be in solidarity, they know how to send out a press release. And so I'm like, you're showing me who you are. You have chosen not to be in solidarity with these two groups. When I last talked to you, you asked me if I know it wasn't a press release they had sent out. It was a letter to the Minister of Labor that they had sent. And like you said, it's very comprehensive about severance. But they sent it out, I think it might have been maybe March 31st, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But it was later on, long after the CCJ had made their position for sure. Or it may have even been this month, right? Long after. And again, the public would not have been aware of this letter if you never said something about it, because I never see no media house, so the public would not have known that they had taken that position. So again, they never make the public know, they never come out with no statement. And then I somebody alert me to post on the Christian Workers Union, Social Security Board, I think, put one post on their Facebook page. And that post, that was posted on April 9th. And that post, and I did some digging up, said that approximately 9 years ago, Social Security was approached to make them change in a collective bargaining agreement to put that severance as part of their pension scheme. And they sought legal counsel and was adamant that that's not going on their CBA. So in a Social Security Board collective bargaining agreement, that not in there from 9 years ago. So my position is, at the point where Sister Ella Waite became the president of the National Trade Union Congress of Belize, and I think that would have been in 2024, she had that knowledge. So my expectation would have been, considering you had that knowledge and leadership, you would have been advocating, raising awareness within the unions, because you represent unions, but I don't know nothing about a conversation. Then the CCJ come out with the ruling. No, you don't know this information, sister. Under your leadership, you say nothing to all the union members publicly. You have two independent groups who are not part of union. But you know this knowledge. You don't say nothing. No, I don't know. I would say the defense media has been the media that has consistently provided a space for this advocacy for laborers and this particular issue. And this is a new to defense. This truth is defense. This is our defense both. So then I'm looking at the leadership. We started off the conversation looking at Brother Phil's leadership. Now, to my knowledge, organizing is a science, and people come to leadership in different ways. They could born with natural leadership qualities, and then you could be formally trained. So, I believe the only people who I know formally trained in a leadership would be within the church setting. Let's say you're going to Bible College, or you take some courses, or let's say in engineering, you're going to Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies, or take lessons from the Trinidad and Tobago. Likewise, we'd have said maybe less leadership. You might not know this, right? But when you look at the civil rights movement, then people, besides studying together, a number of them began that is in a known as Highlander Folk School, but then now they call it Highlander Research and Education Center, and now Social Justice Training Center. And then the people that were trained me, one of the schools where they get their leadership from, that is School of Unity and Liberation in Oakland, California, called SOUL. Now they use what's called a popular education model, where everybody uses their lived experience to analyze politically what is happening in their life and how they experience life, and I usually call the marginalized people. So I organize very different from most people, I believe. And my reasoning quite different from most people. So what surprised me yesterday when I became aware. Now, please pay attention, listeners and viewers, to the point that I make that the president of the NTUCB knew about severance and a part of the pension plan, a pension scheme. He noticed. And still under her leadership, in not come out to this day, there's still no position on NTUCB. So I find the May 1st March to be performance. But what shocked me yesterday is when it came to my attention that on Facebook, NTUCB have one talk show. I think it's called Voices of NTUCB. And as guests, I believe it was last night, they had a representative from the Belize Energy Workers for Justice and Belize Communication Workers for Justice. When I found out yesterday, I was surprised. There are two independent groups that I'm in solidarity with, but I was surprised that they chose to go on that talk show. And this is why. When people play on my face, I'm not going to show the road. When I say playing on my face is that you have outrightly disrespected me more than once. Now, if I continue to be nice, like we're socialized, as opposed to be truthful, I'd betray myself because I already allow bad behavior. So I'm asking myself, is this another example of when people hold others accountable for bad behavior, especially then when they're working in close proximity, then just don't know how to do it? Like employees at the labor department might know the labor law, but they don't know, they truly don't know how to tell the minister, the labor commissioner, listen, this is what the labor law says. We have to do it. So we have two groups who are both leadership, both Sister Emily and Sister Derla, being executive leadership of the union for both companies. And now they are really holding accountable the umbrella organization of unions. Is it that they don't know how to say, listen, it's not that we wouldn't want to come on a show, but before we come on a show, we don't have to publicly acknowledge our position, if we're in a solidarity, we're not, and own that bad behavior all this time is not okay. I really, one of the few people who I could reason publicly like this, because we reason like this privately.
Yeah.
So I feel comfortable, and they're a conversation that I feel we need to have publicly. I'm not always in the right vibration. I get emotional. I really work to restrain myself right now. So I say a lot. Make a hear 2 cents over that.
Yeah, so then I feel, though it wasn't something fresh in my mind, as having been at one time president of CW, it's not the first time when it was brought up that they were just refreshed my memory. I wasn't there at the time, but it is something that we have had discussions about, meaning the fight to prevent this situation where the severance would be removed in favor of pension. I got in at a time when they had come out of a round of negotiations that was very contentious, was nasty. It was very nasty. I'm speaking about negotiations at the time. I believe the president was Audrey, and they, in discussions that we had when I became president, the minutes were there, and the wounds were fresh. They were battered for the stance they took, and one of the things they fought tooth and nail about was that issue. But in it's discussed, but there's so much things that you are learning and so many things you're processing just all the time, that it's easy to, well, for me, it's like I didn't even remember that until that was put out. I'm saying that similarly then, since it is I have a recollection why I didn't engage in that experience, it's you could say, how come I never did bring that up myself? And the honest truth is that I didn't even remember it. So I'll just put that out there to speak truthfully on the matter. And I would say I can't speak to why the leadership at this point in time has not been public and clear, and I feel it's a fair question, and I would hope to hear their answer. I think they should be able to answer that, and they should be able to come forward and explain that. I don't know if they have done so in private with the respective groups. I can't speak to that because I don't know. And I can say that as far as a leader is concerned, and I've told you this off the record, that the president of the Trade Union Congress of Belize is somebody that, in the experiences I've had working with her, is somebody that is really like a hardcore, like she's really hardcore into the into fighting and unionism. Like, she's hardcore unionism. I have not experienced anything less. Like, and I've also experienced participation, I would say, across from outside of where she was once the chief rep at the SSB, at other agencies, at other membership groups. She was involved with those fights, very supportive and very out there as well. So I can only speak to that experience I have and that track record. So I can only, as I've said to you, I don't know if the matter of the Belize Communication Workers Union has been so problematic to them that they have not been able to really have a clear view of what's required. But I am not responsible to explain why they have not. I absolutely concur with your position that they need to be clear and on the record in support of these two groups and their fight. I don't have any I don't see any murkiness there. It's clear as day that this is an issue that they should be able to speak specifically to these groups, not just not to the principle of it, not to the theory, not to the comprehensive wide view. Yes, that is great, but there's also a need to say the names of those groups and to be on the record in solidarity with them. Why that has not happened, I can't answer for that. I have to be honest.
What about the challenge that we have in holding leadership accountable when we work in close proximity?
It's difficult. It's difficult to do it publicly. I feel that it's important if you have a working relationship with someone and you have respect with them, to engage them first and to have that conversation. And if as a result of that conversation you are left feeling like there is something wrong and you need to put that on the public record, then it has to be put on the public record at that point in time. But we do struggle with having a consistent level of holding each other accountable when it is we do have working relationships. We tend to not do it, and we tend to not receive it well. It's like that's just, I guess, human nature. But I think when we're in leadership, we have to grow to expect and respect that comes with the territory. That you are going to, if somebody, it doesn't mean that somebody is out of malice or dislike or anything personal like that. It's really principle based, and that should be deemed as par for the course. That's a part of the whole leadership journey. People will kind of come and demand certain. They put a certain standard of expectation on you, and they will hold you accountable to that. But we get caught up in our feelings. People take things personal. I've had moments when I take things personal. I don't know about you. Sometimes some things you get touches. You always put me in a situation. I'm out of time, but I cannot, because I do have guests coming up. And I don't want people to believe that. I want to hear your thoughts, and it has to be very compact. There's been a pushback on not just the issue of the content of the video that showed a police officer punching a child and punching his common law, And so there's been an outrage on social media. It's a massive outrage. Spill over social media, because I get messages and calls. They tell me, like, not agreeing with the fact that the video has been taken down. And generally, there are videos that I feel should never have gone up. But this question now about whether or not the value of this video, or what the messaging is that the video has been taken down. So that's it. For me, for me, I would say that there are different concerns that I have about what the content of the video, but I want to know, where would you fall when it comes to the value of the video remaining in public view, or as compared to it being taken down by those who different online media agencies and what have you?
I have not watched the video. I don't usually watch videos like what create harm to people. I'm aware of what happened. I am truly hurt for that child, and we have a duty as a community to protect our people. I have mixed feelings about it, because the first thing I wonder was, why do they have video in the house? But I appreciate it, because sometimes, if we don't have the evidence more, if you don't have the physical evidence, it's really hard to make one case. But then it's hard when the evidence is so violent, and like human beings, especially one woman and one child. I have mixed feelings about it, and sometimes in a cut and dry, I really can't say, because I see it from both perspectives. I really have mixed feelings, is all I can say at this point.
All right. Yeah, well, I feel that the video has... I get the understanding of why people feel like the important the video stay up, from like as painful as it is, as visceral as it is, as disturbing as it is, that needs to be there, so that we are that people get the gravity of the situation and really are, like a way of holding the people accountable. I think the fact that you have a child in the video disqualifies the video from being posted. That's my view. But I understand what people are trying to achieve and the value that they find in the video. As you have pointed out, sometimes you feel like if there's not video evidence now in 2026, it's as if though it didn't happen. So many things are occurring, and they're coming on camera like unprecedentedly. Like we're in an era where everything we have experienced, a lot of horror captured on video, and indeed we have to figure out how to navigate that. Speaking about the media, I get that. I think one of the points that has not really, people are saying, listen, he has to be dealt with. The police department obviously was kind of slow. Finally, they said there were going to be disciplinary charges. Obviously, the concern has to be here for the brother in question. The profession of policing is unique, and it is a profession that puts a high priority on self-control, because you are essentially enabled by the society, or contract and agreement with our police officers is that they are allowed to use deadly force. And so, because there is a very special authorization for the use of deadly force, that has to be accompanied by a personality that is stable, that is grounded, and that has self-control and a level of responsibility. And so we know that this is, at most times than not, this is just wishful. We know that they are human beings, and at various points in their moments in life, whatever, this wins, this goes down, and we have seen some of the bad results of that. But when the whole world can see a demonstration like that, that has some very deep repercussions and implications for whether or not you should be allowed to continue to have access to that special authorization to use deadly force. Because and the other concern I have, and we've had this conversation, I have had this conversation before, Sister Yaya, is that the society has to be clear as to what its views are with the use of physical contact with children, because we are guilty of being a little bit schizophrenic here. We will at times, we say, well, people will call this show and say, we're not to beat kids the way we used to beat them. We're not to deal with them how we used to deal with them, and that's a part of the problem. So there are those who believe in when I say the old time way, just tear on, and they will tell you about all manners of things that were done to them as a child, and will tell you that that's the reason why they were a good person now. The problem with that is that we don't have video cameras running where everybody could see what happened to children every single day. And what happened to that child on that video is not, in my view, is not an isolated, rare situation. Children get, not until you know about spank, children, they experience all manners of physical violence. And we have to not be, as it's an overused term, but we can't be selective with outrage. Because it's on a video and because it comes on Facebook, we are mad. That's cool. I am happy that we are. I'm happy that we do not support that. I'm happy that that caused us to just be completely disgusted. Absolutely, as we should. But what I'm saying here is that we should have a standing approach. We don't want our children to be experiencing physical violence. Period. Across the board. We don't want our women to be experiencing physical violence across the board. I think it's a moment for us to be clear with this. The child, you've not seen the video, but the child had the child, 8-year-old child, was trying to defend his mom. And yeah, I mean, we feel that child and what that child was experiencing and the response of the child. And so we now are lashing out at the mother because the charges were withdrawn. That's the report. Man, human psychology is kind of complex, right? And it's easy. Yes, I wish that mother would not have done that. That gentleman, that officer needs to be held accountable. Absolutely. But while I disagree with that, I cannot condemn that woman. There are things going on in that formula And we have women, unfortunately, all the time being forced to make these choices. And they are very, you say, oh, if somebody do that, that, okay. All these things are wrapped up in financial stability, wrapped up in fear. And we all feel those things. We all feel fear. We make choices at times because of fear. We tolerate oppression on a societal level because of fear. Collectively because of fear, because of fear of economic consequences, fear of maybe we will be victimized, fear that we actually get manners or disrespect, physical violence. It forces us to make choices that are very unpleasant because we lend to fear. And that doesn't mean we are right to do that. We often come on this show and say we want our people to stand, to step up, to walk the walk, to confront wrong, to confront oppression, to confront corruption. But we make choices all the time based on the fear we have. Again, it doesn't mean we are right. The question is whether or not we can now say that this person, this woman is, as we would have said, worthless woman. How he could do this, how he could do that. I can understand how somebody make a choice, whether they want a terrible choice. It's a terrible choice. No mix me up, no misunderstand me. A terrible choice. But I know jump and say, oh, this time, because we make these terrible choices all the time. And a lot of it comes from fear. That woman has fear. And she obviously has reason to have fear. You see? Because when if God forbid, if violence comes to her, we have experience where our women don't have anywhere to go. You and I have had conversations of here trying to deal with situations like this, haven't we, sister?
Yes, brother.
With me and you can't figure out who the hell to call. So what we are challenged to do is to do our best to make somebody feel safe enough to be able to make the courageous choice. Because when that person there by himself in a house and somebody come contrive burn down the house, as we have experienced, a mother and a child and everybody get burned up, everything burned down to normal. And nobody never did it for help them. So we have to, it's a complex thing, and we have to look at all the aspects of it. Yes. The brother is not well. You know well. That's an unwell, deeply unwell. We're all gonna level on wellness, but that is deep unwellness, unacceptable unwellness, and disciplinary charges alone. That is somebody that needs deep treatment. Let us be honest. But many of us need deep treatment. Because as we talk right now, you ain't got somebody who feel it's okay if you punch down one child. It's okay if you grab any manner instrument and whop one picnic. Huh? All manner of things we do to children, man. I tell you, all manners of things, all manners of horrendous, abusive language we dash upon children. We take for we stress, we take for we how, and we dump it upon children. And they don't have the ability to walk out of the house. So we can't just look upon the conversation at the part where convenient and comfortable to we. We have to look upon the whole problem. I gone and talk longer than I want to talk, sister, but I just feel like I'm want to go upon the record with that.
I appreciate the reasoning, brother. I learned. Only organized people and safe people. Big thanks, brother.
We go to 2 cents cam. We'll be back after the break. We have guests, so That's what we got going on. This is Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes.
You're watching WB and this is XTV. Big respect to our sponsor, 4 Point Security. Alright, the 2 cent question of the day. Who want benefit after when you implement the new system for the bus owners? So we can find out 2 cent. Find the bus owners and how they feel about all this. Question of the day. If you have $1 million bus compared to the bus there where they have today, what will be the difference?
The difference is you have to pay more. Simple as that.
That's your 2 cents.
Yeah.
What are your 2 cents?
Yeah, you have to pay more because upgrade won't come at a cost, and at the end of the day, the commuters won't be the one that have to pay the cost.
The difference is that it not only will come at a cost, is when it fails, who will pay the cost? The taxpayers.
Every great job starts at Brothers Habet with the best supplies and the right support, including free delivery on site, so you can focus on the job. Brothers Habet, working with contractors since 1983.
Altoona is one of the most visited Mayan city up until lately. The adjacent communities have collaborated together to see how they can get a space here that the wood carvers could actually market and sell their product. Not having the POS machine in the past, we have lost a lot of sales. Atlantic Bank helped supported our business, giving us the opportunity to get the POS machine. Now with the POS machine, we are able to do more sales, and that will, also bring more, finance to our families.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belize wakes up connecting to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
This is a learning experience, and this event is all about you guys. Give it a chance. Maybe a competition you partake in sparks a passion in you never knew you had. I had no idea how much I love coding until I actually explored it. We need more girls in IT.
In Belize, analysis supported by UNICEF highlights that girls between 15 and 24 use computers less frequently than boys. Regardless of whether they live in urban or rural areas, regardless of their family situation, their economic situation, or even their level of education. This gap matters because digital access today determines opportunities for tomorrow.
Be Like a Girl was never just about technology. It was about creating a space where girls can see themselves differently, where they can realize they don't have to shrink to fit into spaces. They can grow and transform them. where they understand that they are not just users of technology, but creators, innovators, and leaders.
Electricity is essential for everyday life, but behind every outlet, a lot is happening to bring you safe, reliable, and sustainable energy. Let's start at the beginning. Independent power producers across Belize generate electricity using a mix of renewable and non-renewable resources. Electricity travels across a network of high-voltage transmission lines capable of transmitting electricity across long distances. Electricity then reaches your nearest substation, where it is adjusted to a lower voltage, making it safe to travel on the distribution lines you see in your community. From there, electricity makes its final journey from the distribution lines to your home, providing you with safe and reliable power when you need it. We continue to serve you.
Get your body sculpted with gym equipment and accessories from Benny's. Quality and savings.
All right, welcome back to the WUB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes. It's Wednesday morning. It's the 22nd of April, 2026. And it's not a frequent occasion when the WUB has prominent religious figures on our set. And probably the highest ranking religious leader ever in the history of the WUB, because we have His Grace Archbishop of the Anglican Church, Bishop Philip Wright, is here with us. That's the highest rank we ever had on this set. We've made history.
Yeah, we made history. Thank you very much. Mose.
And we have with us a dear friend, Reverend Ilona Smiling, priest of the Anglican Church.
Thank you.
Essentially what I'm telling you, listeners and viewers, is that I will be on my best behavior at this point in time. Especially because, and this is no slight to the Archbishop, because of the Reverend that is on this set, I will be on my best behavior.
Yes.
I have no choice. We're here this morning because there is a big plan of celebration going on, a very special, unique celebration, unique tribute and recognition of this historic achievement on the part of Bishop Wright. So congratulations to you, Bishop.
Thank you very much, Mose.
And what has it been like for you? How does it change? How has it expanded your hard work?
That's a good way to put it, an expansion of hard work. But before I do that, I just want to say thanks for the opportunity given to Reverend Smiling and myself to come and share a few thoughts. And in doing so, may I quickly add that I almost feel my presence here needs to be in honor of Mrs. Beverly Brown, very good friend of yours.
Miss Brown.
Yes. And
Miss Brown.
why I mention her is, if you may recall, 20 years ago or so when I first became bishop, she insisted that this was one of the shows I needed to be on early in the game. She was a great fan of yours and a great fan of the show, and was a tremendous supporter of myself and my ministry. And so if you don't mind, a little shout out. She has passed on, and we continue to give God thanks for her life and witness. But every time I come here, I almost can imagine Mrs. Brown sitting.
I can hear her voice.
And you can hear her voice.
I can hear a very distinct voice. She had a beautiful voice.
She did, and so passionate about whatever she was talking about. But yes, to your question, taking on the role as Archbishop is indeed an expansion of the work, of the responsibility, but also I think of the opportunity to hopefully make a difference for the better, not only for the church, but hopefully the sort of platform that the office brings with it, that you're able to hopefully make an impact even more so. Because I'm now not only Bishop of Belize, of course, but now Archbishop of the West Indies. So the same sort of issues I hear you talk about regionally and so on will certainly now become the sort of issues I need to pay attention to and lend my voice in a timely manner.
So it will require greater traveling?
It does involve a bit more travel. One of the things I want to do is to be able to visit all the dioceses, and we have 8 dioceses, so there are 7 dioceses to visit, and we meet for our what we call our provincial synod every 3 years. And my hope is I can visit those 7 dioceses within that 3-year period, just to connect with the people, to have conversations like this. And you know, as Archbishop, there's not a whole lot you can do in terms of each diocese. They have their own bishop. That's the leadership. But the extent to which you can be a voice and a presence of support, I am hoping I can do that.
No, Reverend Smiling, obviously, justifiably, completely understand. The diocese here in Belize is feeling very proud of the bishop and what he has achieved.
Yes.
But I will not speak for you for sure. Please tell me how you all feel and what is being done, what specifically is being done for this very historic moment for the church.
Well, we're very happy to be here, Mose, and we are all excited, very excited about what's happening, because we have, well, I personally have seen the growth of His Grace from 7 years old when he was a little boy at All Sages Church. I can remember seeing him in the pews, and he said, "I want to be a priest."
From 7 years old?
Yes. And he grew up through the church. He was an acolyte at the altar, a lay minister, and then he was ordained priest and, well, deacon first. And then he went into the priesthood and ordained finally as bishop. And now we have him as the Archbishop. So it's a very exciting time for us. And so we are having this big ecumenical service on Sunday, when he will be recognized as the Archbishop of the West Indies.
And so there is a call for those of the faith,
yeah,
but also outside?
Yes, everyone is invited. We want to have a packed civic center on Sunday. And at this moment, I'd like to thank our sponsors and our donors. And especially,
this thing was fancy, man. This
very big.
This is not a...
And because of the generosity of our sponsors and donors and the businesses have been very cooperative. And we will be able to feed, we're planning to feed 5,000 people. And
is this the biggest feast ever?
Yes. And we have free transportation through the businesses cooperating with us. And it's going to be entertainment, and of course
it's all day. From
we're starting at 9. Well, the mass begins at 10.
Okay.
And it's a Eucharistic mass. We are inviting everybody. It's an ecumenical service, and there will be entertainment before and after the service.
Okay.
So it's going to be a grand occasion, and it's Belizeans, we expect Belizeans to be there, and we have guests coming from international parts of the world. You know, we have from the US, from England, the West Indies, of course. All the bishops will be here. So it is a grand occasion.
No, I've never known you to give off any type of ego, any type of self exaltation, anything of that nature. You've always come across with great humility. The occasions you've been on the show, you've been very comfortable in having really down-to-earth conversations, and been on and never, you've never been somebody where you feel uncomfortable in exchange with, and even now that you've become Archbishop, you still remain as you are. So I know that this achievement, while obviously it is a personal one, I can't imagine that you are not contemplating how to make the achievement become an achievement for the entire Anglican flock in Belize, and if so, how do you see it ultimately lifting and benefiting the flock that you are most familiar with?
It's a very good question. And you're right. A lot of the promotion surrounding this event have actually been very uncomfortable for me. I pass and I see banners with my face on.
You're like it's bigger than when one of these foreign artists are coming and saying, "Look out, the Archbishop will rock this big center."
Well, that's the impression the banners might give you. See, I'm not pretending. It's just not my nature to put myself. But I understand the occasion, And I am very appreciative of all those who are making the efforts. By becoming Archbishop and what it might mean for the church here, but I think also for the country.
Yeah.
One of the immediate, I think, effects would be it draws attention to Belize now. When asked where is the Archbishop, where does he live, Belize, and so automatically I suspect it will draw attention to the church here and to the country in some respects. And because of that, I feel one of the major impacts will be how we have to now up our game. You know, it's sort of like when the spotlight is on you, you have to go to another level now. And so in my conversations with the clergy and with lay persons, I've been trying to emphasize how much, myself included, we all have to sort of raise the standard a bit. And the thing I said to them as well is, you know, the best way you can support me as Archbishop is to do the best wherever you are. Whatever you are assigned, you do well there, and that would be. So yes, Mose, I think it will draw attention to us, but in the same breath, it should challenge us to do our best and to raise the standards of whatever we do to a new level.
No, Reverend Smiling, I completely understand and expect no less than to hear the Archbishop says how he's uncomfortable with the very high level nature of this promotion of this event. You guys are stopping at nothing. It's all out. Oh yes, all out. You know the show itself.
Yes.
And we that show yourself, so we perfectly understand that.
Yeah.
You said you've known the Archbishop from the age of 7, seeing him and knowing his journey. Then what do you think is most responsible? What is it about Bishop Wright you believe has led him to this this zenith in his journey?
I believe it's his humility. He's being a friend to everyone. I find that he's somebody you can call on at any time, and he's always willing to help. I don't know the minds of the bishop who elected him, but he has been the senior bishop for some time, and we expected that he would be elected. So that's why we are so excited, you know. It's something we anticipated. And we are very, very proud because it's been 80 years since Belize has had an Archbishop of the West Indies.
80 years?
80 years. And that person was not really a Belizean. He was an Englishman originally.
Okay.
And now we have our very own Belizean.
Son of the soil.
Archbishop of the West Indies, you know. And that's a big thing for us.
Bishop Wright, 2026 is... Okay, let me just say, I am of the view that major denominational religions in 2026 are facing an environment that is extremely difficult.
Yeah, please.
You are dealing with growing view of people who are cynical about religion, cynical especially of denominational religion. And now we are experiencing no less than, at least unprecedented in my time, you have a powerful world leader open to the planet having a verbal dispute with the head of the Catholic faith. It's a really challenging time to be in religious leadership. What are your thoughts on that, where we are right now, and how do you see your leadership navigating this very, very challenging terrain?
It is very. I think for a long time, some of the more traditional churches, I would put the Roman Catholics, Anglicans, Methodists, and some others, I think for a long time, in some ways, we have watched a misrepresentation of the faith, at least the way we have come to understand it.
Mhm.
And of course, the way we have come to understand it is largely based on how we have elected to interpret the sacred text, because all these people are reading the same text,
Mhm.
and they are coming up at times with very diverse conclusions. So for a long time, even through the years of decline, and by the way, we are seeing some evidence that there's a reversal of that decline. Maybe not so much here in Belize, but parts of Africa is where the church is growing in leaps and bounds. So there may very well be some kind of trend back towards some of the traditional, more stable, if you will, expressions of the faith. But through it all, for decades now, I think many of us have observed what we interpret to be a sort of misrepresentation of how we understand the faith. And that has come full circle now, so that politicians and even persons outside the leadership of the church are seeking to speak for the church. I think one has to find it very interesting if anyone would say of the Pope he has to be careful when speaking about theology. Of all the people, I wouldn't say that of the Pope. He's quite a learned man and so forth. So we are looking at a misrepresentation, I think, in some respects of the understanding of the faith, and that's very troubling. Having said that, though, when you look at the issues we face as a people, as a society, and if you put all of that together, a misrepresentation, a misunderstanding, and some selfishness in there, it enlarges the challenge, because here you are trying to be consistent with what you understand the faith to be, trying to give guidance to leadership, even in the political arena. I think that's where the Pope says, you know, the one I'm following is about peace. What else do you expect me to say than to champion peace and dialogue? So when you're standing up for the faith as you've understood it, and you're opposed by others who are misrepresenting that faith itself, and you have the powerful and so on involved, it's challenging, because we seek to make a difference in the lives of people, and so are others. We come from a certain angle, and that angle, you're right, sometimes is a slower one. You know, it's about conversion, it's about reform, and sometimes people want quick answers, quick solutions. Not to miss the point, driving over, I was listening to a conversation you were having about accountability and so on, and as I drove, I said, interesting conversation, but for us, I would dare say, for faith like the Christian faith, accountability really starts with that person you look at in the mirror. If you can't be true to that person and honest with that person, you're going to find it, I think, difficult to be true and honest with anybody else. And so when Christianity comes into various scenarios of life, violence, you name it, it is always coming from that place where the singular person cannot just excuse him or herself from it. You have to take some personal accountability. Even if you didn't do it, in a sense, there's a aspect, I think, of the Christian faith that takes some kind of ownership for what is happening in the wider society. And you try to make a difference. You try to have an impact.
Archbishop, I guess I would be one of the most, or at least on the list of unlikely people to applaud a pope.
Fair enough.
I'm not a Catholic, and I'm not about to convert. But I was extremely, I was impressed because he started it, and not in the sense that he started what he was speaking on.
Yes.
But he knew that speaking at that moment would be perceived as being unwelcome by very powerful people. And he did it anyway. In fact, it seems that's exactly the response he wanted. And very often, I think, especially with young people, they become cynical because they find leadership across the board, media, whatever in society, and religious leaders, that they are very diplomatic, very unwilling to, they will have their personal opinions, and I imagine when they have these conversations, I'm sure Bishop Wright burn out certain things, I'm sure, and individuals. But and this platform is global. This is a global platform.
The largest,
And you take on one of the most powerful rulers we have seen for a very long time. I'm not talking about whether he's a good one or pleasant one, but he's extremely powerful. And he was willing to say something that would essentially disagree on a deep level. And to look at also the situation that is going on, say for example in Gaza, and to be very strong on it, very clear on it. Is there, even though different faiths, is there inspiration you get from that as a religious leader? Do you see, what are your thoughts on it?
No, there's definitely a measure of inspiration there. I'm not a Roman Catholic either. I'm not about to convert either. But to see a leader of that magnitude and influence willing to stand on the side of truth and justice and peace, you can't fault that. You can't deny that. And I think that has been the power of his witness in this moment. And I would say to people, you got to listen carefully to what the Pope is actually saying, because he's also being misrepresented and misinterpreted. And I won't pretend that I know him, but he says, listen, the person I'm following, the gospel I've been called to preach, is about peace. It's about reconciliation. It is about seeking a way forward together. It's not about brute force and dominance and so forth. And he's right. That is the same Jesus I see, in terms of the witness he gave to the good news. And so from that perspective, it is something quite admirable to see. And it's starting to have a ripple effect, if you will, because I've seen our own Archbishop of Canterbury join in the same sort of demand, if you will. I'm looking now at leaders from different denominations and faiths across the globe, more and more standing up and saying, no, we are for peace, and there has to be a way, there has to be a way other than dropping bombs and trying to annihilate a civilization towards peace. So it's hard to escape that, Mose, that does not represent what we stand for in terms of Christians.
No, it has not received. It has received very little. It has not really been in our space, media space. I don't know where I saw the story. It was one of the online news that kind of ran the story, where you have essentially taken a stand on a very sensitive issue, a very delicate issue within your own faith. And I'm speaking to the article that I read, where you, in your capacity as the Archbishop of the West Indies, is saying that the Anglican faith, has to stay the course, and you described to me the background to it, which I really didn't get all the background, but I knew that you were essentially, what the article was saying was that you had voiced a position that the church has to continue along the line of confronting its role in the enslavement of people from Africa. But when I read it, I was very appreciative of seeing you take that stand within your own faith, and in a matter that is an open, contentious situation in Britain. Yeah, this position is not a West Indies position, it's not a Belize position. This is happening in one of the first world countries. This is where the church comes from. So, for the benefit of our listeners and viewers who don't know that background, you've given it to me. I wonder if you would mind just explaining the context and what is exactly you advocated for.
Yeah. I believe the matter you're talking about, it has to do with reparation, which is a lively issue in our region. And may I quickly say too, as a sort of preface, the church has entered the fray arguing not just for reparation, as in, give me a good amount of money and I will be happy. We have described our engagement more as reparative justice. Now, what does that mean? It means, yes, to try and correct the ill effects of what slavery has done to us as a people and so on, but in a way that will seriously try to address the effects, whether it's related to health, education. And so really we are calling on the church in England and other places to help the church in these parts to address the issues that are affecting our people that one can trace to the enslavement of our ancestors and so forth. Now in the UK, the previous Archbishop of Canterbury, before he demitted office, had commissioned a sort of research to find out what exactly was the role of the church in slavery. We used to hear a lot of things. It wasn't a popular move even then for him, but he did it, and the results of the research indeed proved that the Church of England was involved. It owned one of the ships, or it was heavily invested in one of the transatlantic shipping and made money out of it. And the former Archbishop was quite courageous, I think, to get up and say, we got to do something about this. And working with his own, within his own system and what a group they call the Church Commissioners and so on, they were able to begin to set aside something like, I think, £100 million to go towards efforts at reparative justice. Now, it doesn't mean that Belize would have gotten £1 million, but they were looking at how do we use this money to meaningfully address the effects, whether it meant building schools, hospitals, that sort of thing. That was with the former Archbishop of Canterbury. The moment the new Archbishop of Canterbury was announced, apparently there were some parliamentarians in the UK who approached her to say, that's a bad idea. You need to abandon whatever your predecessor.
Concerned about the precedent and the implications.
That's right. And so I was at a conference. I had an opportunity to speak about reparation, or what they call the legacy of slavery was the theme of the legacy, language, and there was a third L that I can't remember. Anyway, I spoke at that conference, and out of that came an interview that hit the British press, I believe. And in there I said, no, I want to support the current Archbishop, encourage her to not abandon that idea, not to walk away from it. And that is what gave
that's how the article
emerged.
It's like, and that is that's you had already been the Archbishop.
Yeah.
know, taking a very bold position on a very, very large platform. So I want to just recognize it, and you know, it's one of those things where there are times when you see an article comes up and you read it and then you continue, but when you go back to try to find the article, I couldn't find it. So, but I know that, I'm glad that you have provided us with that information. Reverend, Reverend Smiling, I know that you're here to talk about your big event. Yes. And you're wondering why I am all over the place. I can feel I can feel the scrutiny on me. I feel the pressure on me. So, Reverend, I want to come back to you now to bring us back to focus. Yes. There is this tremendous celebration, and whether the Archbishop likes it or not, it's going to be big.
Very big, yes.
And you're calling one and all.
Yes, we want everyone to come. And I want to mention non-Anglicans, you're all invited, and we have free transportation from all the districts.
Really?
Yes.
How do they?
Oh yes, they need to just get in touch with the church offices. Any of Anglican churches, you can call in at the office to find out what time the bus is leaving. And we want everyone to come, you know. I
asked permission, being the well-behaved man that I am.
Yes, I know how well-behaved you are.
I asked permission if I could put to you before you leave your thoughts, because we spoke before, we were speaking before you guys got on the show, this issue of violence, domestic violence. This video has enraged a lot of people, and the visual image of a child being punched, harmed, the physical violence. And I said to you that my concern has always been that people go to the Bible to want to use the Bible to justify not disciplining a child, but to say, love my man used to say that me bring you into the world and me could take you out of this world. No, I consider that to be one of the most violent threats that has been normalized by our culture. And many of us have heard it, that me bring you into the world, me could carry you out of the world. For those who don't speak Creole, I gave birth to you, which means I can kill you. It feels more impactful when you say it in English. What are your thoughts as leadership of a major faith denomination in the world? And how do you speak to that? How do you speak to the feeling, to children, the women, the violence, the abuse? What are your thoughts?
It goes back to human beings. You get violent, you get angry, and it's a release that you take it out on the child. It is not right, but it happens. And I was speaking to your staff this morning when I came in, and we are appalled that, we see this on the video, a police officer doing this to a child, It's not right, and the violence that's involved, but what's going through the mind of that person, It's a very difficult thing as human beings to control our emotions.
Not to cut you, Reverend, having said that, we have to have a zero tolerance for certain things.
Yes.
The abuse of children has to be among those things. We can understand the frustration and the anger and so on that an adult might have, but there's never a justification
that's true.
For harming a child. And
the Archbishop, there's somebody out there saying, but the good book said, no spare the rod.
Well, we know that good book can be misinterpreted, misquoted, and even so, even and I am familiar with the text, to use that to somehow look at the scene we saw, and say somehow the Bible condones this sort of thing. I am very troubled that anyone can do that. No? I think someone once said, maybe one of the true marks of a healthy society is how it treats its vulnerable citizens, the weakest and the most vulnerable, elderly, young. And so we need, as a society, as a country, I think, when things like this happen, we all need to recognize there's a moment here for some introspection. All of us need to look at ourselves in a sense and say, how do I feel about that? Am I capable of that? And if we're not prepared to do that, even on the personal level, then we have really an uphill battle ahead of us.
Well, because of time, I will now have to part ways with the esteemed company I've had the honor of hosting.
I want to make a final plug. So, I'm learning how to do the TV thing. Let your final word be the one you want to leave.
All right, I get that. All right.
So it is this Sunday, the 26th. The service starts at 10. Probably go on for about an hour and a half. But before the service, there will be music and sing along. So if you get early, if you get there from 8:30, there will be things happening by 9 o'clock. And after the service, there will be a concert. So there will be more music and singing. We figured we'll be there until about 2:33.
Okay.
Admission is free because I've had some people say, well, Civic Center, do we have usually you have to pay to get in, right? Admission is free. We will feed the thousands. We'll try and replicate our Lord's miracle. And transportation is free. Parking is being arranged. And we just want it to be an occasion where we come together as Belizeans, not just Anglicans, as Belizeans, and celebrate the goodness of God with each other. And it's going to be a fun day, I can assure you. And you are invited too, Mose.
Thank you.
Yeah, he got a special invitation.
It was a small matter to resolve with the good Reverend, but I'm sure we... I want to thank you both for joining. All the best Sunday.
One comment I saw in a chat that where is the bishop living? If he's going to be living in the West Indies somewhere, but he lives here in Belize. He's our bishop.
I'm still
bishop of Belize, so he will be residing here.
All right.
And thank you, Mose, for having us.
Thank you very much.
No problem. We miss the third guest that was supposed to come.
Oh yes, she's sorry. Yes. Under the weather.
I hope so.
And she, like Miss Brown, they're very passionate with her.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
Happy Smiths.
We take a break, we'll be back. This is Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes.
This is a learning experience, and this event is all about you guys. Give it a chance. Maybe a competition you partake in sparks a passion in you never knew you had. I had no idea how much I love coding until I actually explored it. We need more girls in IT.
In Belize, analysis supported by UNICEF highlights that girls between 15 and 24 use computers less frequently than boys. Regardless of whether they live in urban or rural areas, regardless of their family situation, the economic situation, or even their level of education. This gap matters because digital access today determines opportunities for tomorrow.
Be Like a Girl was never just about technology. It was about creating a space where girls can see themselves differently, where they can realize they don't have to shrink to fit into spaces. They can grow and transform them, where they understand that they are not just users of technology, but creators, innovators, and leaders.
Nando Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Have a vision? We've got what you need. From idea to install, Brothers Habet. All your building needs under one roof.
Belize wakes up connecting to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for today, Wednesday, the 22nd of April, 2026. Mose Hyde in the house with you. Our telephone number is 280-5848. We have a call coming in via cell. Okay. Good morning. Hello.
Hi. Hi, Mose.
Hey, good morning, Christine Perret. How are you doing?
I'm good. Appreciate you taking my call again. Good morning, Belize. I just wanted to, I shouldn't say bring up rage, because again, I'm extending it from the point that, first of all, from the day before, I think it was Monday, that you spoke about the mother that had to go look for her own child, and found her child, 13-year-old, died in an area, and you spoke about that in a little extent. I wanted to call and share from a mother's perspective. This is my union right now, but I just wanted to extend from what you were saying, what it could have been like for that mother, have to go looking for your own child, still with the hopes that you would find the child alive. And that really touched me deeply when I saw the news and watching the mother and how she was trying to comport herself strongly on the air, to be strong and not be breaking down all the time. I have sons, so I can only imagine what she is going through. And I just felt like I had to call and extend my heartfelt condolences to her.
I think what is still like extra human, and that's extra human strength for that mother to say that even in that moment of great pain, that she's still happy that she found her child, still happy that she has that closure of his body and be able to bury him. Yeah.
And that is indeed an extreme courageous to have that kind of comport on air, because I am just watching the news and I am tearing up, because I am putting myself in her position as a mother that has a child, and same as a son. We as mothers, we don't expect to bury our young. We expect them to outlive us. And then when I saw on the news that came out, well, I saw it more on social media, about this male police officer abusing both a woman, or his common law wife, and the child, 8 years old. I cannot explain how more horrific, and when you are explaining it, again, when these things, I don't know, as mother and having children, both male and female, and going through what you went through, to bear these children, and then to nurture them and bring them up, and to see somebody else just abuse them, like take it lightly, like there is no motion. And I'm talking about a person that is a police officer. So I take big umbrage on the body that he represents. These police officers, they are trained to tackle thugs and to tackle big men, when they're trying to arrest someone or trying to defend another, I would say, a vulnerable entity, like an innocent child. And then you're talking about the physical build of this person compared to what we call a skinny child. Very fragile, small, defending. I mean, I just cannot get over this. This even make I can't sleep last night, to see a public public officer. That is where my gripe is, my beef, or I am so angry about the, like we were saying, it's the authoritative body. And there is instances where the woman, yes, they have reason why they would want to take these things to court and then end up dropping it and do not have charges on the boyfriend or the husband or the ex or the common law husband for the same thing that you're saying: fear, trauma, and financial, the economical, financial aspect of having a roof over your head, providing for your children that you have. Because when you look at the system, and like you were saying, you turn around, where she probably might be thinking, where will I go? Who is there to call? I know that the state, the ministry, have means that they can do more, and that's why I am calling to say, please need to demand more accountability from the state and from the police department. Why the police department? Because this individual represents a body that is supposed to protect. They go and do a swearing to protect, to stand up for the very person that this individual is abusing. And to come out and hear, well, I guess they must be limited to hear that they're not taking it lightly. Yes, appreciate that. But to the point to, like how you say, they might just end up firing him, removing him, terminating his service from the police body. But then what happened after that? What measures, what protection is there for that woman and that mother, I should say, and the child, that he will not retaliate and go after her, like you said from the last incident with the burning down of the house, and the mother and the daughter died because what? She took out a restraining order, and still, like this, to me, the system failed her.
A restraining order is not a bulletproof vest, and it can't prevent you for it. Yeah, it only works.
Not a protective measures like what we would say.
Yeah.
So
can't save your life,
Exactly. So to me, even the police department needs to do more than when somebody, in the case of violence towards the woman and a child, a protective order needs to do more, have more teeth. And because the police supposedly is supposed to have one unit that protects if a woman is being abused or a child, they can go to the police station and get protection. But if that protection is just disciplining, and normally when we hear discipline, all they do is terminate the person from there, and they can't get hired back there. And what that does? That can, like you say, a person that is not well in that situation, that all that will do is create like more anger, and then they want to go after the mom, and then go probably after the child. So what the police department have to do more than just say, yes, disciplinary charge. In my opinion, they have to do, and police have to demand more than just, we are going to have disciplinary charge. You have to do more than that, including the ministry that protects women in these circumstances. This is what, day 2, and I have not heard anything except the people outcry. And I've seen on Facebook where guys are expressing their anger, and all these things can incite different emotion, and they can react to the point that they could attack the person himself. But when it comes to a situation as grave as this, I would say as egregious violence against a child and a mother, because no child supposed to be able to, in protecting their mother, you know, be abused in such a way. And it's just a big body to a small child, and of course the harm it creates. And apart from the harm that child sustains, the trauma that will be in that life until he becomes an adult and have children themselves. That is how far extent of damage is done to a child.
Yeah, and I have to go to break now, Christine, but thank you very much for that. Your points have been well made. I really appreciate the call.
Thank you, Mose.
All right. We got to go to break. We're back kind of running out of time. Well, we have run out of time.
When the job demands more, Milwaukee Power Tools are designed to handle the toughest jobs on the construction site. If it's speed, durability, and performance you need, Milwaukee is the perfect choice. For unstoppable power at an unbeatable price, make it Milwaukee. Nothing but heavy duty. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
This is a learning experience, and this event is all about you guys. Give it a chance. Maybe a competition you partake in sparks a passion in you never knew you had. I had no idea how much I love coding until I actually explored it. We need more girls in IT.
In Belize, analysis supported by UNICEF highlights that girls between 15 and 24 use computers less frequently than boys. Regardless of whether they live in urban or rural areas, regardless of their family situation, their economic situation, or even their level of education. This gap matters because digital access today determines opportunities for tomorrow.
Be Like a Girl was never just about technology. It was about creating a space where girls can see themselves differently, where they can realize they don't have to shrink to fit into spaces. They can grow and transform them, where they understand that they are not just users of technology, but creators, innovators, and leaders.
As a small business, I started to attend pop-up shops like many other businesses, and we found that our customers wanted to pay by card and not cash. I went to Atlantic Bank, and immediately, without a problem, it's like, yes, you can have a POS system. That POS system we now use in-house, and we can also take it countrywide wherever we are. They were willing to take the time, they were willing to be patient with us as we grew our business, and that, for us, that meant the world.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Palm City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you today?
I'm so stressed out.
Okay, I'm saying I help you out right now. When I this daily, for 10 days, I am going after that, okay?
Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We are locking off for today. We thank you all for joining us. Hope you have a great Wednesday. Tomorrow is Podanuri, on Friday as well. I return on Monday, if I have the health and strength, of course, for the Monday morning edition of Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. To our crew, Larry G at Creme Radio, up at XTV Cliff, the Glow, directing this morning, Miss Jamala Thompson. Have a great Wednesday. Stand strong, stand firm. We're going to go on our final break. For now, we're gone!
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Rock, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal. It's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Maria's was planned to open in 2020, and that's when COVID came. I thought the dream was dead. People would come to my house, they would purchase the coffees from there. That gave me the little confidence, like, okay, I could do this. Atlantic Bank, of course, helped me take the next step. Once I had their support, it was smooth sailing from there. This business is my life. It's literally what provides my family with food and employment. I employ 3 family members, so it's really everything for us.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Every great job starts at Brothers Habet, with the best supplies and the right support, including free delivery on site, so you can focus on the job. Brothers Habet, working with contractors since 1983.
Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place a calling. Come be a bed. Be a yourself, see yourself. This is the show my people. Believe our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a nation. We are the people.